Welcome back everyone, this is GTA Failer. In this video I'll be showing off a number of places in the GTA 3 world that are difficult to get to. A bit northeast of Catalinas Mansion is an entrance to a tunnel that's blocked off by traffic cones, and I'm trying to land my plane on the other side of that blocked off tunnel entrance. Most of the tunnel has no collision detection, including the roof and the walls and almost all of the floor, but there is a tiny section of solid floor just on the other side of the blocked off part of the tunnel. You can see my plane falling right through, so I'm standing on a rectangle that's maybe, I don't know, 30 feet long and 15 feet wide, and that's the only solid part here. Okay, so in this first attempt, I actually should have saved and didn't, because then when I fell off accidentally, I had to go do the flight again and many more times until I got my other successful attempt, which is what I'll be showing you next. If I had to do this over again, I'd have a lot more chances of success. A bunch of my early attempts, I was coming at this tunnel from a bad angle. I really wanted to be heading straight for that black semicircle there, right in the middle of it. Because what was happening is I was coming in from an angle and then I would hit the invisible barrier and then continue, angle of incidence equals angle of reflection kind of thing. And I would just bounce right off into the water. Okay, so this time around I saved, which I won't show here, and then we're just kind of pushing some of the stuff around and running into the invisible barrier, confident that I can't go through, and yet I go through. And then I say, okay, let me back in. I earned it. I spent 40 minutes flying the Dodo and landing on that stupid, tiny, small landing zone, and it won't let me back in. It's one way. Garbage. This is garbage, Rockstar. I want a refund. Okay, no problem though, because I saved my game. So we'll just reload and plop myself right back down there. And next up, we're going to play around with the police. So I think we're going to use a wanted level cheat code and lure some police over here. And you can see I'm shooting the invisible barrier. They're not even bothering shooting me because they know there's a wall in between us. Here I'm shooting the invisible barrier all around just to show you that my shots are hitting this invisible wall way up high. Note that policemen come here, but no police cars or FBI vehicles. And if I go far enough out, even though I'm behind the invisible barrier, I can get shot at and I can shoot this officer here for science. Okay, next up we're going to show you some of the fake floor. So right here where the floor changes color, that's the edge of the real floor, and then the gravel is fake. It's basically just a straight line going across. Here I am by the traffic cones on the far eastern section. And here I am jumping all the way out as far as I could. So that was the other side of the tunnel. How about that? Okay, here I'm going to show you a technique where you run into a wall, then you spin 180 degrees, but don't move away from the wall. You take out your sniper, rotate around, and you can look through the wall, some of the walls. Why is there a tree inside this building? Right here I'm by the basketball court in Belleville Park. So I couldn't get this technique to work on every single wall, but seriously, why is there a tree growing in the building? I looked at the roof just to see if it was poking out at the top, and I never noticed it, but nope. Okay, here we are on the lower part of the dam, and if you find a vehicle with enough torque, you can drive right up the dam, surprisingly. And you could use this technique during the final story mission called the Exchange to get to this rooftop before Catalina gets in her helicopter. Unfortunately, you can't progress the mission without spawning in the rest of the Colombians. Here I've driven a boat to the big rock just north of eastern Portland. There's not much to explore in this tiny cave, but there's water. That's cool. Some misformed shapes over here. We can see through there. That's not great, but you can play in the water. But do be careful. It's easy to drown, even though it looks very shallow. Some folks call this the Sea Cave, which I think is a bit of an optimistic name for this tiny section. I will point out that the ideas from this video are from a fact that's posted on GameFAQs.com by Chris Beeson, aka Screwy1. I've included the link to the fact below. Chris wrote this back in 2002, so I'm only 21 years late in covering their fact. That's pretty cool. Here we're trying to run through a wall. I've got the double speed glitch on twice, and I am running at the intersection of the wall and my parked vehicle, which I put at a 90-degree angle. So now we're going to run at the laundromat because I know this floor is solid. And there we go, we're in. I couldn't do this on every wall. I didn't have great success doing this at all. But anyway, I only got it to work when my car was at 90 degrees, and you have to use the double speed cheat code twice. That's time flies when you. There's 3 invisible walls inside of this laundromat, so I can't go very far. The author of the fact says that 45 degrees also works sometimes when you park your car. There are plenty of places listed in the fact that I wasn't able to get to, and so obviously I can't show them here. So go ahead and check out the fact linked below if you want some other ideas for ways to explore the GTA 3 world. Okay, so here I have flown onto the rooftop of Kenji's Casino, and we're just going to take a look around. A lot of the stuff here has no collision detection. And a bunch of the grass to my right here is not solid, like that floor is not solid, which is why I fell through. There is a tiny section of solid grass right here, but if I try to walk through this little wall in front of me, everything over there is not, the floor is not solid over there. Anything to the north of those little steps, basically. So you can walk on the water. That's cool. You can relax in any of either of Kenji's lounge chairs. It's pretty nice up here, quite relaxing. Here we're flying the Dodo towards the helipad on top of the police station. Jam on the brakes, hit it, hit it. Oh, perfect. Okay, there's not much to do up here, but I did save once I got up here, which is why the time is going to be different. So as I was saying, I'm showing everything that I got to work, but there's plenty of stuff in the fact that I couldn't get to work. So go check out that fact if you want more ideas for exploration here in GTA 3. Okay, after we're finished on the helipad here, we're going to go check out the stadium. I think we've been in here before, but anyway, there's some cool details inside of the stadium. The ground is solid, but if you're on foot, you're underground. So I'm going to stay in my Dodo here so we can get a view of the field. Some nice details, I think. Go Cox. If you go too far in any direction while you're inside the stadium here, kind of driving under the field, you fall into Blueville, which is fine, but then you just have to fly in again. Okay, the next clip is going to be very brief and hard to see what's going to happen, but I'm going to get a 2-star wanted level in a taxi. Then I'm going to go into cinematic camera. Then I'm going to ram into the police cars that are chasing me, and the camera is going to focus on the police car instead of me for like 1 second, right there. This is the camera focused on the police car, and now it's back on me. I got it to work 3 times. I'm going to show you all 3 times, but really it's like a second each time. So here's my second attempt. There you go. That's the police car focus, and now we're back to the taxi. And then the third attempt, there you go. That's the police car, and now we're back to the taxi. Tough to get that one to work. Okay, here we're aiming for the lighthouse, which the lighthouse and the island it's on are both solid, but my goodness, it is tough to land here because there's like nothing flat. It's all at an angle. It's all sloped. And as soon as I get out, you're going to see me fighting against like an invisible force field that's trying to make me slide off of this island. No matter where you are on the island, you are constantly, slowly sliding off the island. So you can stay on there, no problem. You just have to be running in the opposite direction of where the island is trying to take you. So there's not much going on here in the lighthouse, but it's the first time I've ever been here. I don't know if the Rockstar had more plans for this lighthouse other than just a decorative piece, but like I said, they didn't make it easy to get to or to stay on. And so you can see here, I'm just fighting against the force field, and then I think I'm going to cut and go around the front of the lighthouse and check out the details on this door to the lighthouse. It's awesome. Somebody online said that this door is nicer than any of Salvatore's mansion doors. It's pretty cool. And then finally, I think I'm going to hop or run backwards to try to show you briefly show you the inside of the lighthouse. It's totally empty, but anyway, I can get the camera kind of inside there a little bit. So here we're sliding. It looks like stairs, but it's not. Everything here is just like perfectly it's just planes, even though it looks like stairs in different angles. It's just a lot of planes that you're sliding down. So the hit detection here is kind of wonky. All right, so here I think we're going to hop backwards and try to show you briefly the inside of this empty lighthouse. So there it is. Not too exciting. It's pretty cool in Vice City where you can go in the lighthouse and then go up to the top, climb all those stairs. Okay, here we're trying to land on the ship that is involved with the import-export crane. It's a pretty big landing zone, and all of this level is solid, which is nice. Here I thought I had to hop over this section because it looks like it's lower. And then I'm going to walk down the ramp, except I don't go down at all. I'm just on top of it. You can just walk all over here, all solid. And nothing up here has hit detection. That says less cargo, Liberty City. And so we'll just walk around here in double speed. If I walk off the edge here, I'll fall down to the next level lower, which actually does not have a floor. That brownish, grayish stuff is actually not solid, but we'll show you all the cool things up here. Again, nothing with collision detection, just walk right through everything. And so now we're going to intentionally walk through. So the crane, the import-export crane is off to my left here. So some emergency boats off on the side, some like rescue boats or whatever, not on this side, but there is some on the opposite corner of the boat. Okay, so just clearing up the weather, taking a look at some of the stuff here on the northern end of the boat. I guess that's a chimney stack, a technical boating term. And then here, like I said, the floor is not solid. So it seems to me, I'm no boat expert or mechanic or whatever, but it seems to me this boat has a leak of some kind. Yeah, real easy to drown here. I think I'm gonna get kicked off into the water, and it doesn't look all that deep, but instant death. Instant death. All right, so here I reloaded my save, and now we'll fall through an invisible hole, and death again. Okay, we saw this earlier in my playthrough, but check out that police car that spawned inside the building across the street from the Staunton safe house. Apparently this is a consistent bug that happens when you have a wanted level near your safe house. So I cleared the wanted level with the cheats. I'm going to try to get into this vehicle. Looks like I should be able to open the door, but technically it's on the other side of a wall, so it's not going to look like I reached for the door handle at all, because I can't. That's me trying to enter the vehicle, but no such luck. Then I'll shoot the car. I tried jumping on it first. Then I'll shoot the car to get a 1-star wanted level. So this officer is going to get out on the other side because there's a wall blocking the driver's side door. And then I think he's just stuck in there, and I'm perfectly safe out here. And then I see these little arms and legs poking out, and then just a fist flying at my face. How rude. Look at this. Look at this. This is not cool. Yeah, get some. So then there's this other officer walking by, and I've got a 1-star wanted level. Why does he not care that I have a wanted level and I'm engaging in fisticuffs with one of his colleagues? Okay, so but now he turns around when we have a 2-star wanted level, and then check out what happens here. I get run over and then busted. By who? The officer is on the other side of the wall. He can't do anything to me. All right, see this section of grass that comes down to the water? It is not solid. So here we are off the east coast of northern Staunton. There's a small section of water you can explore here, but mostly lots of places to fall into blue hell, which I will. And then I'm going to fast forward because I just kind of got stuck. I didn't know what was happening here with my boat. I'm trying to go forward, backwards, left, right. Nothing seems to work. Then I stand up and I'll instantly be on top of a tunnel, which is cool. But then I'm going to drown. There's no water around me, right? But like the game thinks that I should drown because I was in a boat. So therefore I must be underwater right now. Dead from drowning in oxygen and then spit out by the ocean. Okay, here I am spawning the FBI car, and then I'm going to drive this Yankee underneath, directly underneath where the FBI car is going to get dropped off by that crane. So this is in double speed here, and something funny is going to happen. Now, the crane is not going to drop it off. I'm going to spend a minute here like kind of lining it up just to get it perfect. The crane is not going to drop off the car until I get out of the Yankee, and then I think even off of the yellow strip section. So it's still holding it. There's like a slight gap between the FBI car's tires and the top of my truck. So there, let it go. And then I'm going to get back into my truck and drive it forward. And Isaac Newton was wrong. There's no gravity here. The car just floats. It's perfect. It's got a shadow and everything. Okay, so I assumed that this car had no hit detection, but then in another save file, I just slowed down time to regular speed here. In another save file, I jumped on top of this car and it has hit detection. So I said, well, what if I get in? Seems safe. And just like that, standard FBI car business. Nothing to see here. Okay, now we're going to take an Infernus. I'm going to grab the fixed spawn one by the airport. Now we're going to take it over to the airport. We'll do a jump cut here. And I'm going to show you the stairs. There's 2 sets of stairs over by the helipad, the helicopter here. And I'm not going to the first one. I'm going to the one that's further, which direction are we going here? Further south? Yeah, the skinnier set of stairs. There's a wider set of stairs by a fixed spawn police car. But we want the skinnier ones. And we back up, and then the car just starts to like rev up its engine and then take off. Which is pretty cool. It's like self-driving Teslas before, back in 2001. Okay, so then we'll try it again, and same kind of thing will happen here. You just want to back up all the way, your car will get stuck, and then you get out. Sometimes the car revs at really high RPM, but never comes out. So I'm going to experiment with that here. So it's just stuck up there. And then if I walk into the front of it, I lose health as if I was hit by a high-speed vehicle. Because the wheels are turning really fast. So the programming here is not quite right. The wheels are turning fast, but the car ain't moving. Then I tried to jump straight up onto the hood of the car, but I dove to the side. I didn't do that on purpose um, because the game thinks that there's a high-speed vehicle coming towards me. Okay, so sometimes in order to encourage a stuck car to come on down off the stairs, I throw it a grenade and say, "Why don't you get moving, bud?" And it says, "Yep, see ya." So no practical purpose for this, but it's just kind of fun. And so this was a pretty good launch here, and I'll show you one more good launch, and that'll be the end of Fun with Furnace time. I didn't get such a great view on this last launch because it was actually the first launch I recorded, so I didn't know that I should be aiming my camera way to the left here. Beautiful. Okay, so in the next clip, you're going to see me flying my dodo very carefully towards the construction building, and I'm trying to land in the floor where the cutscenes took place with Asuka beating Miguel. It is such a narrow opening, gang. So many attempts before this one successful one. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I saved immediately, which is why the time is different, and then we're just going to run around here in double speed. But again, this is where the cutscene, several cutscenes happened for some Asuka missions, like we saw Catalina and Miguel here before Catalina abandoned Miguel and ran off. Yeah, pretty cool that we can just kind of run around here. At some point, as I finish exploring this higher floor, I'm going to fall down. I don't know where I fell down exactly, but I fell down onto like a lower floor. Yeah, right there, into some boxes. I thought I might be stuck, but eventually I was able to get out. I felt like Oscar the Grouch here. Yeah, not much to see on this floor, but again, pretty cool that it's solid. There's some invisible walls here, but you can sort of navigate around. It's like a maze where you can't see what the paths are. All right, so I don't know how many attempts that took, but I was thrilled that I got my one success. Okay, so in the final clip, I am going to be trying to get to the observatory, which is over near the dam. So I'm using the Flying Cars cheat, which is Chitty Chitty BB, and then I just typed in the slow down half speed and then slow down quarter speed, just to give us as much time as possible looking at this observatory. So the plateau that the observatory on is too steep to climb on foot or to drive up in a car, and which is why I'm using the tank. It's too high for the dodo, actually. And so you'll see me just go right through it here. Notice how little detail they put into the observatory. It seems quite unfinished, maybe just sort of an afterthought. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.